nothing magical comes from the known. We need this.
You want surprises in that.
Yeah, surprises are great. Yeah. It's kind of like therapy or taking shrooms, but like combined, but it's just your breath. The breath is basically the key to life, because obviously you stop breathing, you die, just in case you didn't know. So we travel around Europe a lot. They really liked Italy, so that was awesome. We flew around the world on private jets. We lived in a hotel. We created this gym. I worked in a palace every day, and I was like, really? Like, really? I could never have imagined it being this good. But there are so many points along the way where I could have just gone, that's too scary, I'm not going to do that. When you dance, particularly the kind of dance I do, which is like dance hall, hip hop, twerk.
Not twerking, but she does the twerking really good as well.
What the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, I'm so unhappy. Why aren't I eating? Like, I love food. I also had a massive eating disorder, so that was a big part of it. But I believe now that was meant to happen to give me the kick up the ass to get out of Australia.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
So, we always like to start off the show with a good chilling question of when you hear creating freedom, what does that mean with you? Yeah.
Creating freedom to me means removing anything that limits you, that is not in aligned with your truth. And I think everyone has a different truth. So everyone's here to serve a different purpose and live a different path. And to me, freedom is just being unapologetically you. So anything that society or your parents or your culture or anything that has told you you should be or you can't do, that just kind of gives you that like, oh, am I sure? Like, get rid of that shit and just express yourself fully. That's freedom.
First time we heard a good one like that. Normally they're all about the same kind of thing, but yeah, I like that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what is the truth anyways? How do you find that? How do you be aware of what your truth is?
I think that's an ever-evolving thing. Like your truth 5 years ago versus your truth now are different because we're different people. The truth, I think, it brings you peace. So, you know, when you make a decision and you just feel at peace with that, to me, that's following truth. It's like truth, love, peace, all those things are kind of intertwined. So, yeah, to live in your truth is like, this is for me, and I accept that some people might not understand that. And that's okay. They don't have to. But this is for me what I need to do. This is my truth. This is how I feel. This is what I believe. This is who I am.
It's your life.
Yeah, exactly. No one else is walking your path. So
yeah, you're creating your own path.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Right. So for the viewers watching this, just tell them who you are and a little bit about yourself.
My name's Abby, but most people call me Abs, including my mum. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I moved to Bali just about 4 years ago. Before that, I lived in the Middle East for 3 years. And before that, I was in Thailand for a year. So basically, I love hot weather. I'm very colourful. So kind of normal society, black and white situations don't really fit for me. That's not my truth. That's not my path.
Yeah. And so like, you know, creating freedom, you know, you're in Bali now. Where are you from in Australia?
From a very small town called Hurstbridge, just outside of Melbourne. It's like the end of the train line. There's not even a pub there. I'm going to be honest. There's not even
Australian, is it?
There's a couple of cafes and it's there's a lot of kangaroos.
Oh, you actually get the kangaroos there, yeah?
Yeah, like legit.
So you're definitely out in the bush then.
Yeah, because I always thought that, you know, obviously when we hear Australia, we think of kangaroos, koala bears.
Yeah.
But I met a lot of Australians.
Koalas are not bears.
Koalas are. Correction. But yeah, I meet a lot of Australians who are I never really seen a kangaroo. I'm like, are you from Australia? And they're like, yeah, but you don't get them hopping around all everywhere. I was like, there you are. Okay.
Yeah. But where I'm from, you do.
Yeah.
So what was your life like back in Hurstbridge, right, in the country? What did that look like?
So I moved to a different town with my mum when I was about 19 or 20, but very similar, very small, lots of kangaroos still sight, don't worry. And I studied myotherapy at university after high school, which is similar to physio/massage, kind of rolled into one. Did that for a bit with lots of athletes, became a personal trainer, did all the right things, had the boyfriend, bought a house, and I was so unhappy. Like, really successful business, had people working for me, and I was like, is this it? Like, every day for the rest of my life, I'm waking up at 4:30 to go and make money and just be like,
What was the most unhappiest part about it? The boyfriend? Or?
To be fair, he was a really nice guy. He was just really boring. No, like, that's it. There was nothing wrong. And to look from the outside, like, my life looked amazing and I have great family and great friends and everything was great. But I was just like, I felt empty. I was just like, this can't be it. I also had a massive eating disorder. So that was a big part of it. But I believe now that was meant to happen to give me the kick up the ass to get out of Australia.
So that was when you were going through that was that kick, right?
Yeah.
So what did you do about that?
I didn't accept it for a long time, and it actually caused a big rift between me and my mum, and she's like my best friend. I love my mum so much, and we didn't speak or weren't on good terms for a long time because she'd be like, you need to eat, and I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Standard. I know you're surprised.
Yeah.
But I went to Thailand to this like yoga fitness retreat, and I had a Reiki session, and I've always been like interested in crystals and Reiki and, you know, woo-woo stuff. But this woman, I know, I'm a unicorn. But this woman, I had this like 1.5 hour Reiki session with her, and I sat up from it and I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, I'm so unhappy. Why aren't I eating? Like, I love food. Like, it just literally pulled up all the things I'd been repressing. So I was still in Thailand for another week or so. Went around like other parts of Southeast Asia with my ex-boyfriend. He wasn't ex at the time, obviously. Went back to Oz and I was like, I can't be here. I have to go. So I told him I would be back in about 3 months, which I think deep down I knew was a lie, but consciously I was like, I'm just going to say this. And I was like, the place I did the retreat at, I emailed them and I was like, I need to come and work there. Like, we can't pay you. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. So I moved there and I was like, I'll just live in a room in an intern house and I just want to be here.
So what started, why was it Thailand? And why was that Reiki session? Like, had you been exposed to that before?
No.
Because
I'd been to Thailand before in like the Aussie go drink yourself silly kind of holiday. And the same in Bali.
Simiak.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I was just Googling like yoga retreats, wellness retreats, and this one called Phuket Cleanse just kept coming up. So I was like, fuck it, we're in. And that's what happened. The Reiki session was with a woman called Venus, who I'm still in contact with, and she is not from this world. She's amazing. She's Aussie.
We'll put a link down below.
Oh my God, Venus, if you're watching this, I love you. I actually caught up with her in Bali last year. She's insane. But she just, you know, when you meet someone and they look in and they see your soul. Like, I just met her and I was like, what do you do? And she's like, oh, this, that, the other. And I was like, I don't care. Just do something with me. Like... So that's what happened. We did a Reiki session and it just pulled up all this like, trauma about my dad and like the eating disorder stuff and all this kind of, I was just like, oh my God. It was like someone had literally just switched a light on in my brain and I could see everything I'd put in the shadows.
Wow.
Yeah.
So but like going back further, like, where did the fitness stuff and all that stuff come in? So
that started, I don't know how old I was, maybe about 21 or so. I'd been traveling around Europe and put on a whole bunch of weight because like beer and pretzels, and came back and my friend was opening a gym. He's like, do you want to do your PT and come work here? I was like, yeah, sure. I've always played sport and I just fell in love with it. Like, I love sport. As Simon knows, I like to kick people now, but at the time it was like gym and netball and basketball kind of stuff. So I did that. And then I traveled around South America and I got really, really sick. Like, I got a parasite. And then I became a celiac. I became vegan, which is actually the best thing that's ever happened. But I became intolerant to all these different foods and everything I ate just made me so sick. So I stopped eating. And that's how that kind of started the 3 years of eating disorder.
Oh, so you've done a lot of traveling then.
I have. I've seen the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always more to see, but I love it.
What's your favourite place?
I think India.
India?
I love India. I know not many people say that.
India?
It's just... madness. It's colorful, it's chaotic, there's so much life everywhere you look, you know, like, it's just fascinating.
You.
Yeah, literally. The inside of my brain looks like India. Yeah. So I mean, what work was you doing before you was traveling? I was doing myotherapy and personal training. So you're doing that? Yeah, I was a personal trainer for one of the royal families. Oh, cool. Yeah. How did you get that? They found me in Thailand. Okay. Yeah. I was training them and I was like, get the fuck down. Rah, rah, rah. Didn't know who they were. And the security came up after and like, do you know who they are? And I was like, no. And he told me, I was like, motherfucker. And they're like, they want to meet you. And I was like, I'm about to die. And they're like, we like you. Would you move to this place called Fajira and train us? And I was like, I had a different boyfriend at that time. And I was like, sure, can he come? Worst words I've ever spoken. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you're in Thailand, you did you did the Reiki and whatnot.
How long you were there, and what opportunities did were you presented?
The Phuket Cleanse, the retreat where I ended up working for a year, it was like into all different kinds of meditation and Reiki and fitness and Muay Thai and healthy food. It kind of encompassed all different sorts of wellness and cacao ceremonies and sound bath healing. So that was my first introduction to this world of all this cool woo-woo shit that now I love, which is obviously really present here in Bali as well. So I kind of got to dip my toe into a whole bunch of that stuff and just fell in love with it. And realizing that there is such a bigger power than us is also a way to create freedom, knowing that no matter what you do, like, it actually doesn't matter, which is so freeing to be like, if I just literally disappeared off the face of this earth, everything would continue to move. Like, it's almost freedom knowing that you don't matter, but yet you do matter.
Yeah, it's a funny.
Yeah, nothing matters.
Yeah.
So why not have fun?
It's a funny concept. Yeah, that it really doesn't matter, but it's like your life or that journey is super important.
Yeah,
it's like that experience.
Yeah.
And So now you're in Thailand. You finished that. What was sort of the next step for you?
So I was training people in Thailand, and I'm a little bit loud and adventurous, shall we say, when I'm training. Very Australian, swearing a lot. And I was teaching a class, and after the class, these men came up and they're like, "Do you know who these women in your class were?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "They're the sheikhs of Fujairah." And I was like, "I don't know what that means." So Fujairah is one of the Emirates, so it's near Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And he's like, "They want to meet with you." And the whole class, I'm being like, "Get the fuck down," and I was like, I'm about to like die or be like incarcerated or something. I don't know. But anyway, they're like, "Do you know why we called you here?" And I'm sitting there and my heart's going, and I'm just like, "No." And they're like, "We really like you. We want you to come and be our personal trainer." And I was like, "Really? Like, really?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was dating a Russian guy at the time. And
Don't go back to that.
woo, I love my housemate's Russian. I love a lot of Russians. This is not one of them. Anyway, and I was like, "Can he come too?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So a couple of months later, we moved to the Middle East, and I lived there for nearly 3 years, being the personal trainer for the sheikhs. We flew around the world on private jets. We lived in a hotel. We created this gym. I worked in a palace every day. Like,
Stop right there. Yeah. Sorry,
It's amazing, yeah.
private jets, hotels, flying,
Palaces.
palaces, shake, please.
yeah.
What happened there?
How did you end up here? Why did you not stay there? That sounds really cool.
So I ended up leaving there just as COVID was about to hit. I had a wedding back in Melbourne. So I was like, cool, go back to Melbourne for this wedding. COVID hit and I got stuck there. But amazingly, the Russian got kicked out of and banned from that country for assaulting someone, which is how I got out of that relationship. Yay. Thank you to the man Kyle for being assaulted. You saved my life. But anyway, I know, he's all right. We've chatted, he's fine. He's fine. But yeah, so I left there and I was like, I just need to heal and I just need to kind of get over this traumatic relationship. But the Shakers, they are some of the most beautiful people I've ever met. They actually came to Bali a couple of years ago to surprise visit me, and we spent a couple of weeks together in New Year's, and they are just family. They are unbelievably kind and loving and giving souls, which I think a lot of Middle Eastern royal families, they have this really tainted perception, and they're like, they're just bougie and rich and da-da-da-da. Whereas these women are just family. They're my sisters. So yeah, it was amazing. It was like an amazing 3 years to see how the other side live, but they just welcomed me into their family as I am. Like, I'm dancing, like, being me. And they just were like, "Yeah, we love you."
Yeah, that's pretty wild because like expecting little stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
And then you come from a way far left field.
Way left.
So I just want to break some like myths or misconceptions or stereotypes of the Emirates people. Yeah, like, I would assume that they would be quite traditional and just like not open, or like maybe open, but they're reserved or very conservative. Yeah, was that the case? Obviously, that wasn't the case, but
in public, yes.
In public,
particularly like for the family's reputation, there's a certain way to behave and dress, etc. And they obviously abide by all the rules there. But on holidays, that was kind of their chance to be free as well, So we'd always have security detail and everything with us, but we'd go places where they wouldn't be known because a lot of people know their faces and stuff as well. So we'd travel around Europe a lot. They really liked Italy, so that was awesome. Yeah. Their version of freedom was getting outside of the country where everyone knows them. They have to literally fit into this box of being the sheikh's daughters. But unlike a lot of the other Emirati families, they all had tertiary education. They all had businesses. They worked. They had multiple businesses. They were just really fucking cool humans.
So way out, man. Your boyfriend got kicked out.
Yeah.
You stayed there.
I stayed there for like a week. Then I came back to Melbourne, and then COVID hit, and the Australian government was like, no, you can't leave. And I was like, please let me leave. So I got stuck there for 11 months.
You can call them up and say, look, man, send me over a jet.
I know.
Come pick me up.
But in my head, I was also like it was, as much as it was a beautiful place, it was quite restrictive of like, I didn't have any friends. I had like the boyfriend and I had these girls, but they weren't really ways to make friends in this culture or this society. So I was kind of like, I'm ready for the next thing as well. You know, I started to feel a little bit like, what now? I want to help more people. Yeah. Like I love them, but I was like, I want to reach more people. I want to learn. I want to help. I want to explore on my own terms as well. Because everything was on their terms. Obviously I was their employee. Yeah. And then when I was so I studied yoga in an ashram in India the year before. And I had this little download of like, you need to go to Bali. And I was like, okay. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to move to Bali. But yeah, the Australian government wouldn't let me leave for 11 months. So I sat in my mum's house during COVID for 11 months, which was a nightmare, but at the same time incredible because we just healed our relationship and we are so close now. Like she's a G, she's awesome. So yeah.
Universe has its way.
Exactly. You just got to let go of the branch, stop fighting upstream and just flow with it.
So yeah, man. So through COVID, what was the next step after COVID then?
Bali. And then I didn't go back to Australia for a long time because I was like, fuck you. But yeah. And Bali feels like home, you know?
So when you were coming to Bali, did you have a plan before you came to Bali?
I had met a guy when I lived in Thailand who I became friends with, and he was living in Bali. So I'd reached out to him and I was like, hey, bro, I want to come. He's like, cool, I've got a spare room. And we ended up just communicating the whole time I was in Australia, and me being the idiot. My biggest problem is I have awful taste in men. But anyway... Sorry if you're watching this, bro. But anyway, so I was like, cool. We started dating and I lived with him for a couple of years here and then got out of that one too. And yeah.
What was you doing when you came here? Like,
nothing.
Just chilling, yeah?
Just chilling, drinking a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the Aussie in you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And plus being in lockdown for 11 months and like in Melbourne, it was awful, as you probably know / heard. Like you couldn't leave your house and my mum is a stickler for the rules. So it was very much like...
Oh, your mum's like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're very different. What's your mum's take on you, yeah?
It's shifted now, only the past couple of years, I think. She was always like, even when I worked in the palace, she's like, when are you getting a real job? And I was like... bitch, I work in a palace. Like, are you fucking kidding me? She sees now that I'm healthy and happy. And as a mum, I guess that's what you want for your kids. But I don't think she understands my life. But I think she's realized she doesn't have to understand it anymore. So.
She's accepted it, right?
Yeah, to a certain degree. Yeah. But even like when I was home a couple of weeks ago, I hear like I'm in the shower and she's banging on the bathroom door like, you've got 5 minutes to leave the house or you'll be late. I'm like, I'm 30-fucking-5. Oh my God. Leave me be. Yeah.
So yeah, after the breakup in Bali, what did it go on from there?
It's the first time since I was 20 that I've actually been single for a decent amount of time. So I'm still single now, and it's.
This is anyone who's watching this.
We'll put my number bullet. No, I'm kidding. Again, this is also a case of freedom. Like when you're in a relationship, as you should, you always take your partner into consideration with all your decisions. And this is the first time I'm like, what do I want to do? And that's really scary to begin with. And then it's like, fuck yeah. So what do I want to do? So my friendships have deepened a lot. The friends I had when I moved here, I basically have 2 or 3 of them. And now I have a whole different group of friends that are more aligned with who I am. Mostly from my fight club, because fighting is life. No, but just training, health, not drinking, similar sort of goals. I dance a lot as well. So my friends are generally people I have those things in common with. I don't remember what the question was. We just went side questing then.
No, but yeah, it's just the whole thing about after you broke up, what you got into and all that stuff.
Yeah, dancing, Muay Thai, just more.
So what is it that you do here now in Bali?
As a job?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess like one of the questions is like, you know, people that are watching and listening, right? You know, sometimes people can't just pick up and
Yeah.
go, right? There needs to be some sort of a skill set or backing or whatnot to fund it. Because part of freedom, I believe, is being able
Financial
to fund it.
freedom. Yeah, absolutely. So I am a personal trainer. So I train women predominantly in strength training. I have clients in Australia as well. So I work online. I'm a myotherapist. So I work at a fight club here. So I fix all the fighters. So I just basically get men to take their clothes off and then touch them. It's a hard life. And I treat people at home too. And I'm a breathwork facilitator. So I do conscious connected breathwork, which is a way of like healing trauma and dipping into your subconscious, releasing fears, unblocking your mental issues, I guess.
Yeah. How did you get into that? Is it because you've dealt with, you've dealt it yourself and you've kind of overcome that?
Yeah, kind of. And again, the universe works in funny ways. So I met this woman very early on in my time in Bali, and we just got along really well. And then didn't really see each other much after that, just different life schedules and whatnot. And I was meant to go away. I played AFL here for Indonesia, and I was meant to go on a trip to play Asian Champs, and I couldn't. And I was really kind of heartbroken about it. And she just popped up on my Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, I'm running breathwork facilitator training." And I was like, "I don't know what that is, but I'm in." So story of my life. Yeah.
It happens a lot.
Literally, yeah.
But what is breathwork facilitation?
So breath work facilitation. So there's different kinds of breath work, so ways to breathe. And the breath is basically the key to life, because obviously you stop breathing, you die, just in case you didn't know. But the way what I teach is like a 3-part conscious connected breath. So it's a way of breathing. So you're laying down and we're breathing in and out through the mouth. So you breathe into the belly, into the chest, and exhale through the mouth in one continuous kind of loop. And the more you do that, we drop into a different kind of brainwave than our conscious brainwave. So you're in your subconscious, your theta brainwaves, and you can go to like a different dimension. You can just start to feel things you've been repressing. You can speak to your ancestors. I've had all different clients and personally experienced all different kinds of things. So it's kind of like therapy or taking shrooms, but like combined, but it's just your breath.
And so what are the types of people that would come?
Everyone. I've had a few of the fighters do it as well, which is really cool. Like people that are into more spiritual stuff as well. I've had couples come if they're arguing a lot or just having some blocks in relationship and something they can do together, and it generally will pull up some stuff for them. I've had a lot of people that are unsure of the next steps of life or like where they want to be or what they want to do. And I've had like, I think 3 women like literally quit their jobs and like move to Bali because of it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not on me, but they're thriving now. So it's almost like it gives you that permission, or like anything you're kind of holding back in yourself. And like, again, the talk about freedom. Society says if you're a lawyer and you're making good money, you should stay doing that, even if you're unhappy. But this breathwork stuff can either just be the key or just like the instigator or the match lighting the fire to be like, do you know what? That doesn't actually make me feel at peace.
Yeah. You mentioned that there was a couple of clients that you had that, for them it was the key to move to Bali and whatnot. Like,
yeah.
Like, do you mind sharing like their story as well? Because I'd be interested to come from that angle where, I guess like, for me or for Simon, it was that, 9 to 5, we didn't want to work for somebody else and whatnot, but from a different perspective, which I've never heard before.
I think they were quite similar. So, one was a lawyer. Actually, both were lawyers. Ooh, interesting. These 2 Dutch women were lawyers, making good money, doing all the right things according to their family and society, and would come here for holidays and then go back and come here for holidays. And I think it took a few sessions. A lot of emotions come up when you're doing breath work. So some people cry, a lot of people cry. Some people get angry, some people laugh, like there's all different kind of things popping up. And particularly these 2 women were crying a lot. And I was like, why? And they're like, we're just not happy. Like that was a constant between a lot of people, I guess, like, I'm just not happy. I'm like, cool, but why? You've got to sit with this. And after the breath work, you start to kind of connect to God, divine, whatever you want to call it, if you're willing to kind of open your awareness to the signs and synchronicities. And one of them was just like, fuck it, I don't want to be in Holland anymore. And so just moved here. And she was like, I'll work it out when I get here. She's still here and it's been like over a year. So she's doing some online work. She's doing some like promotions and stuff for local businesses. Another one's just decided to split her time. So she's going to do like 4 months there and the rest of the year here. So, yeah.
It sounds like a similar story to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Yeah, with that. oh my God, I can't live in this shell anymore.
Yeah. What do you think it attributes that to that point, like where it accumulates? I guess it accumulates to a point where you're like, I have to make a change.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we repress or suppress what we truly desire or what we truly want a lot because it doesn't look like what we've been told to want. So, you know, like the family, the kids, the house, whatever. If something, even if you've got that, like I kind of did without the kids, it just doesn't feel right. And so you're repressing it and you're kind of like adding layers and layers and layers. And something like the Reiki for me or the breath work or whatever it is, it's almost like it just kind of rips it open.
Like a release.
Yeah. And you're like, I just can't fucking lie to myself anymore.
And that's a good one. Lying to yourself
Yeah.
is probably key.
A lot of people like, well, yeah, I think everyone's lying to themselves in some ways.
Absolutely. Even now, like obviously in many ways we all do because it's easier than the truth sometimes because it's hard. Like leaving relationships, for example. You know, it's
people will stick. Yeah, they'll stick into that relationship
It's so long, yeah. And when they know it's like it's time to go, but it's like they lie to
easier.
themselves.
Yeah.
Oh. Come on, I'm gonna have to start coming seeing you like more often now. Man.
We just have cups of coffee, Si. We'll talk.
Sounds like you got a lot of problems.
I know.
I've been a man with you too long, Dave. You're giving me problems. I have to show you the pictures that he sends me.
I've seen one of them.
So you go to PT, your PT stuff, the breath work. Is there something else that I'm?
There is.
Man.
I know, right?
Jeez.
So I'm actually opening a business with a partner. So she's a chiropractor, but she doesn't practice here. And she's very business minded, and I'm very not. So she came to me and she was like, "Hey, there's nowhere that does something similar to the myotherapy that you do, or like targeted deep tissue stuff." So she's going to run the whole business. I'm going to upskill local physios and massage therapists to do more targeted stuff, to understand how to test for injuries and issues, how to do trigger point therapy, to actually fix issues instead of like, oh, I have a sore neck. Cool, I'm just going to do my exact same routine. So I start training them in 2 days and I'm like a little bit scared, but also really excited because it's a way to help more people too. Like there's only one of me, but if I can train people to do something similar to what I do, then more people can be helped as well. And these people gain skills and we're going to pay them really well. And yeah, so we're also doing that.
And that's in Bali?
That's in Bali, yeah.
Is you training the locals? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I've hired 3 staff so far, but yeah, it's going to be good.
Well, you need anyone to be like a test dummy.
You're the 100th person to offer.
I know, but I'm that special person.
Okay, yeah, you are special, Si.
Oh, no.
To be fair, your shoulder issue. So I actually want people that have little issues so I can like test my...
Yeah, I can do that, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Take one for
Well, I
the
won't
team.
tell you how what happened, but you know.
Yeah.
Fighting,
We
we're
all-
fighting, guys,
Not
fighting.
fighting. Fighting is in a demon.
Oh,
Yeah, of course. So that, again, just the products of your environment and just getting thrown opportunities.
Yeah.
It's the MRFs or with this business as well. Right?
And I feel like
Wild.
the more you say no to, the more like the opportunities that are actually aligned with you will come. Because, you know, it's easy to be like, oh, yeah, I'll just take that job even if you don't want to because there's money and I need money. Or, yeah, I'll just stay wherever I am because it's comfortable, as we're talking about, like relationships and stuff. But once you kind of like, fuck it, the right things and the right people will actually start to show up more in your life.
100% agree
yeah, I
with
can
that.
represent
Yeah.
that as well. Because so many people have been trying to say, Simon, this, that. I'm trying to find my new, well, I'm on my way to the new journey, but before that chapter finished and I was like waiting for the next chapter and everyone's trying to throw this stuff and that, no, everyone's like, but this would be good, you'd be good at that. I'm like, no.
But that's their opinion of what's good for you.
But now it's like, you know, something's just starting to pop off now, which I'm not going to say on here, but no. But yeah, man, I totally agree with that one.
Yeah. And you automatically know, like, when something's right for you, it's kind of this, like, bubbly excitement, little bit of, like, oh, my fucking God, fear, but in such a, like, oof way, you know? Like, instead of, like, yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's that whole happiness and that little bit of fear thing, that little gut feeling. You know, because that was me, we had a meeting the other day and I'm like, oh, my God, this is actually happening. So I'm, like, excited, but I'm like, oh.
Yeah. But without that, I feel like you're not taking a big enough risk. If you're just like, yeah, cool, like, let's go have pizza for dinner, sure, whatever. But if you're like, do you know what? Let's make, I don't know, 10-course degustation for all our friends and you love cooking. And then you're like, oh my God, a little bit of fear, is it going to be good? But yes, that's what you need to do.
You need that. You need
Yeah.
that in life.
Challenges,
Yeah.
but good challenges.
Yeah, and you can feel that as well. You can feel that excitement when somebody sort of offers you something, and you already know,
Exactly.
right? And that is that truth that you're talking about when you get giddy and excited about that.
Yeah.
And just going back on that as well with things that opportunities that do come and you have to say no to, right? It really is this, I don't know, I think it's people pleasing, yeah. 'Cause you're just
Absolutely.
trying to maybe fitting in is not the right word, but just going with the flow with having no direction.
And not trying to upset people.
Yeah.
And like we've all been brought up, you know, be nice. Like actually nice is not a good thing. Nice is having no boundaries and just trying to take care of everyone else. Like kind is something to strive for, kindness. But niceness is like not speaking up when you hear someone saying something discriminatory, or nice isn't a good thing.
Yeah, it's helping everyone else but yourself.
Yeah.
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 You're not being selfish.
Yeah, exactly. You have
There's
to
a good selfish.
Yeah. Like this is what works for me. And you can say no without attaching emotion to it as well. I'm still learning this, as we all are. And, you know, someone asks you to do something, and if you don't really want to do it, but you say yes, and then you have that like little bit of resentment, it's never going to come from a good place, and you're never going to do your best work or give as much as you could. So saying like, I can't today, but I can next week, instead of being like, oh, fine, I'll put off what I actually want to do. You know, like these little tweaks to be like, yeah, aligning with what is actually good for you is actually going to create more goodness ripples throughout your...
Yeah, I do that a lot. I'm still trying to master that. Saying no.
Yeah. And you can say no, or you can say not yet. And we also don't have to explain to other people why we make decisions. And that's another one. Like someone's like, but why do you want to live in Bali? I'm like, because I do. Like, I don't have to tell you
That's
why.
the answer, yeah.
And people will be offended by my answer sometimes. If I'm like, Melbourne suffocates me and it makes me grey and it makes me less sparkly and da-da-da. All my friends in Melbourne will be like, take that personally and offended by it. I'm like, it works for you. Hi guys, love you. But like it might work for them. So quite often not explaining yourself can be an act of kindness as well. You can just be like, no, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it's been right. And what about your friends back at home? What do they think of, you know, the massive change that you've made over the last 8 years, right?
Some of them, no, I think all of them understand it's what I need. A lot of them don't understand it. And I think because my life is kind of here now and theirs is over here, let's just say, it has created a little bit of separation. So I'm not as close to some of them as I used to be, but that's also to be expected as life continues. There's about 2 or 3 of my girls I've been friends with since I was 12, and one's here now. Hi, Sarah. But she's in Bali right now, and they're the ones that I'm like, I can have these kind of conversations with, like on the daily, or we'll voice note each other and send like 10-minute voice notes. Like, what are you doing? It's like, oh my God, I did this breath work and this happened, or, you know, whatever. But we should always be evolving. So people in a certain situation that you have now left and you've changed and become a different person, because that is the whole purpose, I guess. My friends in Bali, like I can literally pick up the phone and say the weirdest shit to some of my friends and they're like, got you, girl. Whereas my girls back in Melbourne, they'd be like, I don't know what you just said. And that's totally cool. So it's like, I love you, but we're in different phases. So
yeah, everyone's got that different journey, and then it will appear in their life when they're ready for it.
Yep.
Right. Well, you'll never be ready.
but open to it.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
You have to actually see it, to be aware of it, and I guess feel it. I guess, you know.
Yeah.
And you yeah. That's.
Don't look at me. Normally I get told off by Dave, so
Yeah.
You're in good behavior
I'm
today.
trying to be a good female.
But so yeah, what's I guess you know, you already have this. You know, you already know what you want. You've been opened up to this opportunity in Bali. Where does that take you? Or, you know, help that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, go with the flow. Like, again, the right opportunities come when you're open to them. So Bali is my home, but I don't think it will necessarily be my home forever. So I know, I'm leaving you. No, I'm kidding.
Don't do that.
But like, I need to fix his shoulder first, don't I?
Yeah.
But like having the clinic will be great, and hopefully we'll be able to open more clinics. So that's always going to be something positive. But I don't know. And not knowing is great, because if you know, nothing magical comes from the known. We need this.
You want surprises in that.
Yeah, surprises are great.
Surprises,
Yeah.
And would you have ever thought? You would be here?
No. Oh my God, no, absolutely not.
That's a good question. So yeah, maybe when you was young then.
Yeah.
What was your future life? What did you imagine it was going to be?
So I wanted to marry Nick Rewalt, who's an Australian football player. God knows why, because he looks like a llama. Again, bad taste in men. But anyway, so in my head, I was like, I want to have 3 kids by the time I'm 26 and da, 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 like, you know, what you get told is kind of a normal thing. And now, like, I'm 35. I have a puppy who's amazing. He's 1 now, actually, so he's not really a puppy. But yeah, I'd like this life, I could never have imagined it being this good. But there are so many points along the way where I could have just gone, that's too scary. I'm not going to do that. I guess like just quitting life and moving to Thailand is the biggest one. But if I'd stayed, that's not my truth. That's not freedom. I probably wouldn't be a good person. I'd be repressed. And, you know, when you're denying yourself, you tend to take that out on other people around you. If you're not happy, you start to bleed that unhappiness onto others.
Yeah, 100%.
So
yeah, I can just see if you're stuck in that position, you don't actually do anything or change. Like, I don't know, cranky's not the word, but you know, this goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
Right. Everything just triggers you a little bit, and that just accumulation just destroys you.
Yeah.
Right?
You stop living your purpose.
Yeah.
There's a word in like Indian Ayurveda called Dharma, which is like your life's purpose. And we all have an individual Dharma, and it can change as you grow as well. So I believe mine is to be a teacher and a healer. And I'm not a school teacher and I'm not a doctor, but I can teach people about, I don't know, things I've been through. So like how to recover from eating disorders or how to strength train. So I can teach in this kind of ways, and I can heal people by fixing their body issues. So kind of understanding what lights you up and what gives you that like, oh my God, this feels like a yes and I want to be able to do this. Like Sai's a great trainer as well. So he can help people, which is also a mental thing as well as a physical thing, as you know. Like you can be the highlight of someone's day and give them that freedom and make someone feel good about themselves, which is healing and teaching as well. Yeah. So kind of understanding what lights your soul up, and it's different for everyone and it can come out in different ways, but following that fuck yes to your soul and just kind of keep walking.
Makes you happy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, is that finding your happiness. So would you say you're at your happiness now?
I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's not even happy anymore. It's like,
that's a silly question because I know this girl. Is that anytime I see her, like, she's always happy. And it's like, I've got good energy anyway, but it's like when I see her, I get that better energy. Even when we text, it's just like, we're always busting jokes on the phone. So.
Facts.
Yeah.
But it's almost a level beyond happiness, you know? Like when you're just happy is like, oh, cool, cute dog or good meal or whatever. But this like inner fuck yes peacefulness, like peacefulness doesn't even cut it. But it's like when you know you're where you're meant to be or doing what you're meant to be doing or around the people that just you can relax into and just like let your soul out. It's just,
And we have to find a new word for that. We have to find a new word. It's that perfect, better than happiness, something, I don't know.
It's just, I mean, I think it just comes back to being like that you true self, like how, you know, you can make a joke and laugh. Yeah. And yeah, it's genuine, but there's like this real genuine to your soul that like, you know, you wake up and you feel.
Wake up happy. Yeah. I mean, that was a massive thing for me when one of my ex-girlfriends, love you, girl.
He doesn't, he's like.
Well, when we broke up, like, I always broke up on good terms, but she was like, you need to find happiness in yourself. And I was like, who's talking about? I'm happy. And then after traveling, within the first month, like I was waking up, happy to wake up. When I was thinking back at home, I just wake up in the morning, grey skies, England, raining. You know, I was unhappy, but I was wearing the happy mask, so I pretend I was happy. But in Thailand, I was waking up every day. I was just happy to wake up. And I was like, oh, now I understand that, the whole happy thing. She was so right. Called up. I said, no, I missed her. I was like, oh, man, you're so right there. She was like, fuck you, Simon. I was like, shit, what did I say?
She's like, why didn't you give me the best version of you?
Thank you. I think all of them are mostly saying the same thing right now. Love you.
Yeah. But it's true. You don't know you're unhappy until you know you're unhappy. Yeah. Like, it's almost like, oh, okay, this is okay. This is constant. And then all of a sudden you unlock a new level and you're like, how was I
you're so right.
surviving? Like thriving, not surviving is the goal, you know?
Yeah, there was another girlfriend, so I was dropping. It was like amazing.
The ladies man.
Emily. She was an amazing girl. But you know, I was just at a certain point in my life, and now I think back to myself, oh man, that was always the best of the best girl. But then I think to myself, but you know, if I didn't break up with her and we didn't go through that stuff, I wouldn't be who I am. So I wouldn't have found this happiness.
Exactly.
So it's like, it was meant to be, but then the same thing, I think to myself, oh man, she was such a great catch, you know, because she was perfect. You know, even now when I look for women, I kind of look for her aptitudes kind of thing, you know.
Oof, you're never going to find.
No, but that's it. No, but then, you know, I'm going to be evolving. So I'll change into a more different person. So,
exactly.
Yeah, and things will change.
But if there's aspects of her that like this joy or something that you're looking for
Little bit,
in your
you know.
future,
We all have a kind of picture of what you kind of want. It's like even with happiness in life.
Yeah.
So, you know, she kind of maybe helped me also. I mean, all my girlfriends kind of helped me. Is that you're out with someone, is that, oh, I like that. And there's some things that, so you think when you go on the next relationship, I want to keep that, but I don't want this. And then they come with the extra stuff, but then they might have some other stuff. You're like, oh, I didn't really think about this through.
and that's why we're all single.
Because you're too picky, yeah?
We know what we want, yeah? It's like, I don't want to settle for less. I want the best thing, you know? Why not?
True. I'm the opposite. I'm like, a cram. Oh my God, yes, he's amazing. Just lie to myself.
You lie to yourself, yeah. Did you notice when you were coming here, there's one of the biggest things that I noticed with myself when I moved from Melbourne to here was like, waking up. Like I didn't want to leave. I stayed in bed till like 9 or like 10 and then like crawl out of bed. I woke up with a spring at like 6, like ready to go. Was that a similar experience to you as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's the weather, because it's cold. Melbourne's cold. Everyone thinks Australia's hot. Like, it's not. Melbourne's cold. So I think a lot of it is just that. Whereas here, you're like, oh, it's warm. You can throw like the blanket off and like go. And again, I think it's kind of sole purpose. But yeah, thinking to everyone, all my friends in Melbourne, I don't know anyone that's like, good morning, and like, the birds are singing and getting you dressed like Cinderella or whichever
Snow White
thing. Sorry, my bad. Disney Princess Simon here knows what's up. But here it's like that. Yeah, I wake up at 5:30 most days, and I'm kind of like, let's go kick people in the head, or like, yeah, you're so right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I noticed within myself I didn't expect. Yeah. But,
no, I'm the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so Melbourne is a pit of demise for everyone.
Yeah, just gloom. I mean, I love Melbourne.
Yeah.
Always
best
thought
coffee in the world, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's on par with here.
There's Vietnam again, have you?
I have been.
It's all Vietnam coffee, no?
I'm vegan. I don't drink the condensed milk.
Yeah,
but that's Melbourne coffee.
Yeah, but the quality here is like
quality
insane.
Is good.
Yeah.
But then you go back to Oz. I feel like the strength is different. I had one in Oz, and I was like pinging, and I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
Now I'm gonna have to try this. Can we get some sent over? Anyone watching this, send some over. Yeah.
Smuggle Simon in some coffee.
Just be careful where you put it.
Yeah. He's not that picky, is all right.
Now, I guess like for anybody that's sort of watching or like listening, you've gone through your own experiences, right? And I think you're super self-aware, and everything is like from the gut, right? And you're self-aware of that, right? Where it doesn't suit you or it doesn't fit within, what you do, what you want, or there's something, right? And someone is feeling that same way as well. Do you have any sort of advice or like tips on where that next step, or what should they think about?
I think the biggest thing for me is who you surround yourself with. So I have particularly one girlfriend here who we are in such a codependent relationship. We voice it every day, like all day, every day. But when you have those intrusive thoughts, like she's the one I go to and vice versa. So I'll be like, Looney, her name's Looney, love you, babe. I'll be like, babe, this is happening, da da da. And she's like, right, you need to do it. So having someone or a community that understands you, that you feel safe enough to be extremely vulnerable with.
Your tribe.
Yeah. But like even deeper than that, like soul family, or soul tribe, like she knows every single thing about me and vice versa. And so like when she's telling me some stuff and I'm like, no, this is like a trauma response from da 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 da. And she's like, oh, yep, cool. So having someone to kind of help guide you. So like sometimes I delulu a lot about a lot of things, man. So she'll be like, girl, no, red flag. I'm like, okay, thank you. So having people with you on this journey is really important. I don't think like humans aren't solitary animals. We need community, we need family. So, and again, as we said, like friends from back in the day, like as you evolve, things change. So your community and your people need to change. But I guess finding people that have similar goals to you or are living the life or seemingly living the life that is inspiring to you or something you want to do, talk to them, start to like hang out in spaces that you want to integrate into. So for me, it's like my dancing and my fight club are my two places where I found the people I connect with the most.
Cool, no? You gonna finish?
I don't know what else I was going to say.
Okay, I'm going to say anyway because we haven't said this, yeah. Tell us about your dancing. Say that. Right. This girl, when I go into her stories, we're going to put it down here, yeah. It's like, man, yeah, I do stalk her, yeah. I'm mixed race here, but I've never seen a white girl move the way she moves.
It's the biggest compliment I've ever heard in my life.
Man, this girl can dance. So yeah, man, tell me a bit about your dancing as well. How do you get into
This is freedom. Dancing to me is my absolute freedom. So like as a PT, so like I lift weights, I was doing Muay Thai, very like masculine energy dominant things. And yeah, like I just, as a kid, I danced and stuff. And then here I started doing a couple of dance classes and it was okay. And about 8 months ago or so, I was like, there's a teacher who I'm obsessed with. Her name's Lee. She's amazing. And I just started jumping into her classes. And I was like, if I don't go now, I feel so out of balance, so out of whack. And it's a female only studio. And it is just like everything like the girls in there are just supportive of each other. And when you dance, particularly the kind of dance I do, which is like dance hall, hip hop, twerk.
Not twerking, but she does the twerking really good as well. So.
Thanks. But that's like getting you into your lower 2 chakras. So we've got 7 energy points on the body. The lower 2 are like your root chakra and your sacral chakra, which is like grounding, connection to the earth, connecting to your soul, your feminine energy, your sensuality, your sexuality, and just moving the energy through there just makes me feel free. Like
I see that when you dance, man. I mean, I actually really feel it. When I watch it, I'm like, wow, this girl is so cool. It's like when I'm on my stories and I say, oh, let me see if she dances.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I dance.
I come for a live viewing.
No men allowed, sorry. It's part of the freedom because it's only women. So like no one gives a fuck. Everyone's
Where
just going.
is this?
It's called Drip Studio.
Drip Studio. Okay.
It's the best dance studio in Bali. It's just beautiful. The owner Jazz is amazing and it's, yeah. So dancing to me is freedom.
Yeah. So we had the surfer earlier. That's his freedom. We've got a dancing one.
Yeah.
One of these next. What's that for where, Steve?
Huh? Yeah.
He's picturing twerking right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to see a twerk? Guys, you want to see a twerk? Can you show us a twerk?
Famous last words.
Yeah. So if anybody wanted to sort of like reach out or contact you, regardless, even if it's like the, you know, PT stuff or your like business stuff or the
To chat
dance
about
thing.
changing life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just life in general.
Yeah.
Where can they reach you?
My Instagram is ABZ Unleashed because we are unleashed, living our unleashed lives. So feel free to reach out and have a chat. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's me.
Cool. Well, you know what? It's been amazing having you. I already knew you as an amazing person, but I always say with these podcasts is that you really get to know people, but like you are super, super amazing. I love
Thanks,
it.
babe.
So happy you had this. Man.
This has been so fun.
Yeah, thank you.
What a nice rainy Sunday.
Yeah, it was actually pissing down before she comes.
My pants are soaked.
But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in to one of our shows, and thank you again for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Anyway, guys, peace out.
And chat to you soon. Ciao.